we're just gonna talk about the basics of the position and how I want you to practice the finishing mechanics as you get into the position here. So if Aiden's on his side, the Anaconda Choke is gonna start at the neck and it's gonna end at the armpit. So actually, you come up to your knees for 1 second. So just think about how like an anaconda would swallow its prey. Or you see the gator roll with this technique sometimes. Sometimes think about how an alligator would get something, right? It lines up, it opens up the jaws, and it bites over the top. So when you're lined up with somebody straight, whether they're on their knees and you reach across from your neck to the armpit, or whether you're on your side like this, when you're lined up with somebody and you're looking at their hips and you're in over the top of them, that's gonna be your Anaconda Choke. People confuse this a lot with the Dars. The Dars starts over the deltoid. So if your chest is over somebody's deltoid and you reach across the shoulder and come out the neck on this far side, that would be a Dar's Choke. So that's one way to help remember, right? The big thing, and I'm gonna use the Dars as a reference point, the big strength of the Dar's Choke is that it's a little bit forgiving on your partner's elbow position. Your partner's arm does not have to be as high up to do a Dar's Choke effectively. Also, your chest on a Dar's backstops against your partner's arm. So if he tries to move his arm around or escape it, yeah, my chest is in the way. With this Anaconda Choke, there's nothing backstopping his arm here. So if you just bring your elbow out like that, that motion can be kind of hard to deal with. So we're gonna have to do mechanics that focus on keeping that elbow stuffed in position and also his elbow relative to his ribs. We want it as opened up as possible. Ideally, you're gonna want their elbow above the line of their shoulders. So even straight across like this is not really enough. You may get it sometimes, but for a really strong and clean Anaconda Choke, you're gonna want this elbow elevated up. So this is how I'd like you to practice the finishing mechanics. Ask your partner to lay on the side just like this and take kind of a crossbody position here. Drape one arm over the top of the head, drape the other arm under the arm here, almost like you're wrapping up a guillotine, and just put your shoulder on the floor behind their head. And then as you drop into the position, bring everything in to your hips down like this. You see how this is making Aiden's arm elevate up over his head? If you need to use your leg on top, that's fine. But just to practice the mechanics, keep everything in tight. And I don't want you to squeeze at all. I want you to practice this with your hands open. You should be able to snap or move your hands around. I want you to bring your elbows towards each other. And then once you do that, I don't want you to squeeze. I want you to bring your elbows into your hips. And I still don't want you to squeeze. Then I want you to bring your hips towards your opponent's head and bring your head back. And then now you can start to apply a little bit of pressure and squeeze. Sorry buddy, that was tight. I told you, the Anaconda is super tight. It's clean, it doesn't hurt that much, super efficient. So right here, you can even start punching your arm through for a Dars to kind of practice this, and then just touch your shoulder, your top side shoulder, to the mat right behind their head, and bring your elbows in towards your own hips like this, collecting this elbow, keeping it above their shoulder line, elbows towards each other, elbows in towards your hips, hips in, head back, and then you can start to think about squeezing a little bit, right? Another good thing you can do is just hold that position and see if you can hold it and get your partner to tap at like the 15-20 second mark. So see how loose you can hold it and still get a tap without having your partner escape. Those are gonna be some really important entry finishing details. In the next chapter, we'll go to some alternate finishing details as well.